Welcome back to my channel and this beautiful gate series through all of the 64 gates in human design as we transit through all of the 64 gates in human design throughout each of the sun gate transits of the year. My name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader and mentor of 9.5 years, teaching you how to break down all the nitty-gritty details of human design and astrology to make it more practical for you. In this video, we're going to go over the gate of realization to be able to understand and realize how these Virgo transits are going to be affecting us and what to expect if you have this in your human design body graph and about every week of the year. I write timestamps in these videos for all of the specific profile lines. If you have gate 47 in the first line all the way through the sixth and how the transits affect us each day of the year, I put the dates for each of those transit days too. So without further ado, let's get into the nitty-gritty details of gate 47, what it means, how you can use it, and how the transits are going to be affecting you each day of the week. So gate 47 is the gate of realization. And in the words of Chet and Parkin, this gate leaves you thinking, trying to work out life's great puzzles, seeking realizations that turn on light bulbs inside your head. It is the story of the great thinker and mathematician Archimedes, who was given the task of determining if the king's crown was pure gold or cheap alloy dressed as gold. With that puzzle on his mind, he eased into a full bathtub and noticed that his body weight was made the water run over the brim. Thus came the realization that he could solve his puzzle by dropping the crown into the water to determine whether its weight matched that of pure gold. He had the realization and went running naked through the streets, shrieking, "Eureka!" Such inspiring moments have your ultimate quest because you are a born problem solver. You tend to think in an abstract way, and I suspect colleagues or partners often hear your mind working overtime before you punch the air with the words, "I've got it." Finding relaxation is your key to such breakthroughs. So really making sure when you're working on a problem, you go out into nature and take a break from it. That's often where your aha moments come. I always say it's like washing your hands and looking out the kitchen window and you're like, oh my gosh, I've solved it. That's really important. Knowing to work and to rest is so true for these Virgo placements. If you have a Virgo placement between 17 and about like 22 degrees, that's where we're going to see gate 47 in your human design body graph. So take a leaf from Archimedes' book and step aside from your thoughts into a place of calm, into the bathtub. It's like trying to find a sensitive solution on the end of your nose using a telescope. You need to step far enough away in order to see it. For you, relaxation can lead to pure ingenuity. So I'm excited to get into the notes that I wrote for this day, starting with gate 47 in the first line, which is the line of taking stock. This is where I put that mindset matters. So what you think and how you think is really what you manifest in your reality. If you're somebody with this placement, I believe that to an extent that's true for everybody, but exceptionally true on the day of this transit, the first day of this transit. The actual date is listed below me here. And also if you have gate 47 in the first line. What you can really see when we're leaning into this transit as well in its detrimented state is feeling like everybody is out to get you. If you feel that way, you probably just need a good nap, a good dinner, something to fulfill you, sleep it off, and wake up and start fresh the next day. Second day of this transit, or if you have gate 47 in the second line, this is known as the line of ambition. So paying attention if you have this placement or on the second day of this transit to the fact that not all energy is spent wisely. If you're just acting kind of silly and goofy and don't really have a clear target or started acting without taking even 5 seconds to kind of think about why you're taking action, it can allow people to not take you as seriously. So pay attention to that. You can be very ambitious, but do you have blind ambition? Or are you actually ambitious with a purpose? You're going to have two very different outcomes, one successful, one not so great, if you're following that energy. Being goal-oriented is also very important for people with this placement or on the second day of this transit. You can't appreciate good hard work without good hard rest. This is totally a work hard, play hard kind of energy today. Gate 47 in the third line is known as the line of self-oppression. And on the third day of this transit, or if you have this placement, you want to look out for getting in your own way and also in a detrimented aspect, like really having trouble seeing your self-worth and hyper-fixating over all the things you've done wrong. It's like the things that keep you up at night, really figuring out ways to work through this, alchemize this either with a therapist, a mentor of any kind, like finding ways to self-soothe that are actually productive and knowing that nobody is thinking about you as much as you are thinking of yourself. It really is true. Allowing yourself in the notes that I wrote here to just focus on taking one day at a time. Again, looking out for getting in your own way and figuring out that like at the end of the day, you really are okay, right? If you have the ability to think about certain problems, you can rest within that and know that, like, if I'm able to, full spectrum of like my basic needs are met, Maslow's hierarchy of needs here, is this truly a problem that I have to get this anxious about? And if I can't help but get this anxious about this problem, what is that actually telling me? Maybe I need to get the help of some extra experts here. On the fourth day of this transit, or gate 47 in the fourth line, is known as the line of repression. And these are people who, in their most beautiful way, can really persevere and succeed despite whatever mud or trip ups or roadblocks are thrown in their way. Making sure that you have that perseverance and discipline to continue going no matter how hard things get is part of what we're here to learn as the human experience. It shouldn't have to be this way, but for whatever reason on earth, it is. So when we allow ourselves to be aware and acknowledge that hard things come no matter what, and that's what builds the appreciation for our rest, we can still continue on full speed ahead. Now, in the detrimented aspect, I wanted to read a little passage from this book here, The Definitive Book of Human Design. When robbed of its light, the moon is lost in the darkness, barely able to nourish itself, let alone others. The identity overwhelmed by external conditioning. So this is where you really need to find a way to replenish, to nourish yourself. I've been having so many conversations about this with one of my beautiful friends, Noelle, who's a Leo rising, and about the importance of pouring back into ourselves, especially for those of us who are women who have, felt like we had to force ourselves to work, and lose a sense of our femininity in so many ways. I mean, I think any gender, can really pour into that in a lot of ways. But this is where we want to see where we can really notice where we're getting in our own way by not taking proper care of our bodies, even just with not drinking enough water, eating proper foods to fuel ourselves in a way that's really healthy. So an extra note for today: your Virgo guts will thank you. Virgo rules the gut in a lot of ways, the anxious guts, things like that. So a lot of Virgo chirons also have IBS. Probably didn't expect me to say that, but here we are. On the fifth day review of gate 47 in the fifth line, this is known as the line of the saint. And the little note here is that you are somebody, or on this day, we really want to be able to celebrate and find beauty in even the most smallest of things, to be able to just really be where our feet are. There's actually no detrimented planet in this aspect today. And so really being able to look at yourself, if you have this placement, and say, like, how can I just still see anything that sparks some sort of joy, whether it's an animal, my little furry baby over here, looking out at the beautiful trees in this fall weather, finding that with your fiance, husband, wife, partner, this pen that you got, a beautiful crystal, like just kind of looking around and seeing, like, what are 5 things, or even just one thing that I can be thankful for today. There's always one thing that you can find to be thankful for. So really being able to ground yourself in that and have that saint-like energy is going to be important on this day to just kind of get you unstuck. And if you want to argue with me on that, you can do it in the comments. If anyone with that mindset has made it this far, but just to pay attention to that. And then last but not least, on the sixth day of this transit, it's actually known as the line of futility. And so there's no polarity here, which basically means that, like, nothing is black and white. We're not able to look at this gate placement in terms of like detrimented and exalted here, but rather just being able to lean into some sad girl hours, maybe feeling a little bit somber today. If it's your birthday and you cry if you want to, sort of thing, it's okay. Whereas the day before we have joy, we kind of, everything has yin and yang, balance, black or white, right? Where we're allowing ourselves to say, maybe I just need to feel a little bit sad today, a little bit upset, and just have sad girl hours. Like really being able to see that, like, okay, in order for us to acknowledge what is, and just allow ourselves to see that, like, not everything isn't perfect. We can allow ourselves to be in that, alchemize our feelings. Feelings are all in the emotional spectrum. Making sure that we're leaning in and nurturing all those sides of us instead of suppressing our sadness is going to be really great for us to move forward as we have the gate 6 transit, where it's gate of friction. I'll be talking about that next week, and we can do something about it and be kind of like a strategic lawyer. For those of you who like to argue, you're going to like next week's transit. So if you guys have any questions, you know where to find me in the comments below. If you need to workshop how this placement shows up for you, or if it shows up in your Human Design Body Graph, you can let me know. And with that being said, I will see you next week. Enjoy your week and enjoy the placements and following your human design to live a much more aligned life. I'll see you next week.